Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It is Mental Health Monday. It is Monday, January 14th, 2019. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Dr. Sarissa Hugie. I am a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner. And every Monday I come on to just give a few nuggets about mental health, because I do believe it is an important topic. It is a hot topic right now, and it's important that we all are proactive about our mental health. So today I'm going to be talking about, good morning, Tiana. Good morning, my love. Today I'm going to be talking about emotional and mental wellness. Emotional and mental wellness, you often hear these terms really grouped together, and the reason being is because feeling, the emotional aspect of things, and then mental thinking, those things are directly connected in terms of the way that we think directly affects how we feel. You know, the way that we think and the way that we perceive the way that life is happening to us, or the things that are happening to us in life, or the things that are happening in our lives, I should say, it is directly connected to how we feel about them. So when we talk about mental health, we're referring to our ability to process information, as well as our perception of what's happening. And when we talk about emotional health, we're talking about the ability to express those feelings in a healthy way, in a way that's not detrimental to you or detrimental to those that are around you. And I think that it's important for us to pay attention to both positive and negative aspects of our emotions, so that we can know how to handle them. So often we do want to run from negative emotions. We don't want to feel those things. We suppress those things. But it is my belief that the reason why mental illness occurs or disease occurs is because either people are not allowed to express their emotions in a healthy way, or for whatever reason they're unable to express those emotions. So we see a lot of mental illness that develops out of that. And another thing that I do want to say is that, you know, in the field of psychology and psychiatry, a lot of times we do focus on disease process and classifying mental illness. And I do think that there is some value to that. So we do have to know that when there's something is wrong. And also we do have to know that we need to fix those things. In fact, we have an entire manual devoted to classifying mental illness, the DSM-5. But as a clinician, my mission is twofold. My mission is to help those who are struggling with mental illness, to advocate for those people, to treat those individuals, but it's also to promote emotional and mental wellness in the ordinary person. People with mental illness make up roughly 20% of the population. So the other 80%, certainly we can focus on preventing mental illness, emotional and mental wellness as well in those individuals. And so I'm not just concerned about weakness, but I'm also concerned about strengths. I'm just as concerned about building strengths as I am about rebuilding the ruin that happens in people's lives, those who struggle with mental illness. And, you know, furthermore, my goal is not just to help someone who's depressed or anxious not be depressed or anxious, but beyond the mental illness, what else? You know, what type of quality of life can individuals have? And then for the ordinary person that may not necessarily have a quote-unquote diagnosable mental illness or need medication, what kind of quality of life that can you have? How can I help foster those things that will allow you to experience a meaningful life? Not just a pleasant life, but a life that is meaningful, a life that you fulfill your purpose, but also impact others. So I have, in that way, committed my life to enhancing the mental and emotional wellness for everyone that I encounter. So not only am I intentional about my own mental and emotional wellness, but my family members, my friends, and, you know, my patients, anyone that I encounter, because I believe that this is important. We all should have a meaningful life. We all should fulfill our purpose. So I want to talk to you a little bit about a concept called positive psychology. Martin Seligman, he is a psychologist. and he developed this ideology of positive psychology. For him, he was upset that much of the field of psychology focused on what was wrong. So he developed a scientific study to look at people's strengths, what allows people to thrive. Good morning, Dr. Tiffany Taft. Good morning, Shakita. What allows people to thrive? And his belief is that everyone wants to live a meaningful life. So how can we cultivate these strengths, the good things, the building blocks that people have in their lives? How can we cultivate these things not only to enhance their lives, but to enhance every aspect of their lives and also those that they encounter? So what I love about positive psychology is that it focuses on individual strengths as well as their resilience. So strengths being, things that you are good at, things that you naturally are good at, not necessarily strengths like, I know how to cook or I'm athletic, but also internal strengths like integrity, honesty, compassion, those things that, I consider the building blocks of emotional wellness. Selflessness, those are some of the strengths, or fortitude, some internal strengths that we have that allow us to be able to have a meaningful life. So in the spirit of emotional wellness, I invite you to do this activity with me. Perhaps you've already done something of this nature before, but I invite you to do this activity with me because I believe that it is a starting point to how we all can begin to live a meaningful life. And so I want you to ask yourself these questions. Number one, what are my strengths? What are my strengths? What are those internal character things that are innate in who I am? What are my strengths? I don't want you to focus on what you're not good at and what your weaknesses are, but I want you to think very intently about your strengths and begin to write those things down. These are my strengths, and why is this my strength? And then the other question I'd like for you to ask yourself is, how can I use these strengths to enhance my own life? So what are my strengths? How can I use these strengths to enhance my own life? And then the third question I want you to ask yourself is, how can I use these strengths to help others? These, I believe, are the three questions that you can ask yourself that is a starting point to living and creating a meaningful life. And so I will answer these questions just to give you an example. So what are my strengths? So one of my key strengths is building relationships and being able to connect with people. How can I use these strengths to enhance my own life? Well, wherever I go, I never have to be isolated because I can connect with someone in the room in some way, shape, or form. And it allows me to connect with people, and I have relationships that are meaningful in every arena that I go in. I'm never alone because this is my strength, connecting with people and building these relationships. So that's how I use that strength to enhance my own life. And then how can I use this strength to help others? Well, for me, I have chosen a profession that allows me to enhance and develop this strength on a daily basis, being able to connect with patients, being able to connect with others, as a mental health professional. So in that way, not only am I've recognized what those strengths, I've identified a strength, I've recognized how this strength is beneficial to me in my own life, but then also how I can use this strength to impact others. So again, I do invite you to answer these questions, and I appreciate you all tuning in and joining with me on this path to emotional and mental wellness, because your mental health is important. So thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you all have a wonderful Monday, that your Monday is off to a great start. God bless you, and thanks for tuning in. Have a great day, this Mental Health Monday.